Okay, thank you everybody for joining us today. And we're going to talk about concentration as a topic today and how to concentrate so that you could, your child could actually, do well in the board exams. So concentration, for the board exams and how to train your mind. So specifically, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about certain tips and techniques, especially. Okay, when I say tips and techniques, today we're going to talk about three aspects of concentration. One is three strengths, three strengths, five practices, and 11 tips with time permitting. But we will focus on three strengths and five practices that you could use to focus, on that concentration. And we call it as train your mind to concentrate so that you could, do well, help your child, do well in your exams. Can I have you all turn on your videos? We could see Aditya ji, Jani, Dilip, Deepa. So if you could turn on your videos, we know that, there is, otherwise I feel like I'm only, I'm only talking to my screen. Okay, let's get going. I think we have both parents and students. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm start sharing my screen. Let me share my screen here. So we will focus on three strengths and five practices that you could use to train your mind. Okay, to concentrate. This is applicable not only to students, but it is applicable to us as well as grown-up adults also. So we could consider. But please, this is especially going to help, for students in their, current context, especially, there are a lot of exams around. So this is going to make a lot of difference. So concentration, train your mind to concentrate. Any idea that, what are those three strengths that we need at least before even we start concentrating? Now, everybody thinks that here are the tips, here are the techniques that you go concentrate, which is fine. But are we eligible to concentrate? Do we have the ability to concentrate? That is more important. Do we have that strength to concentrate? That is what we're going to put focus on. Three strengths that you need to concentrate, my friends. That is the very beginning. Before you could think of improving your concentration, before you could think of taking your concentration to the next level, it is very important for you to have these three strengths. And the strengths are as follows. Strength number one, physical strength. Are you physically fit to begin with? Not that you have to have a six-pack abs and all that, but physically, are you in a good composition? When you talk about your physical wellness, are you physically fit? Is your body metabolism fit? So that is very important. That plays a crucial role, that how much amount that you could put focus on. Let's say, look at it this way. Physical fitness comes from with a lot of eating habits. It is not only doing exercise. Of course, exercise and doing pranayama, yoga and all that make us a little better physically. But what we take inside plays a crucial role. Are we eating right? Are we taking a right protein, vitamins and all at an appropriate, quantity and all that? So is it going to help us to stay physically fit? Or if you're a student, especially during exams time, if you're eating a lot of junk food and then a lot of, fatty food, which will make you lazy. So first, physical strength have to be exercised. Not that you're going to spend a few hours every day in gym or other things. That's also good. But are you active physically? That's the first and foremost component that needs to be figured out, number one. And number two is basically, if you are physically fit, only then you can be mentally fit. Without being energetic physically, your mind cannot be sharp. This is a common sense thing, right? We all know this, but I want to remind you all with this, aspect. If you are physically fit, only then you can be focusing well mentally. And concentration is more how much effort, how much energy of which you could focus on that specific work, on your preparation, on your exams, on your work. So physical fitness will lead you to being mentally fit. If you don't have physical fitness, it is unlikely that mental strength will be in a good state. I'm not talking about any mental disorder, not that one, but in a right spirit, having keeping your brain sharp, active. Only then your preparation, your exam appearance, your revisions, all of them can go well. And along with physical strength and mental strength, we also need to have something else called spiritual strength. When I say spiritual strength, I don't necessarily mean to say that you have to be a religious person. That's not the idea. Spiritual strength is having a balanced lifestyle, and then talking to yourself inward as much as possible, being with the moment, talking to yourself, relaxing your mind, being idle for some time, calm down your thoughts, calm down your body. Nowadays, if you get a break for a few minutes, most students, most of us, we go first thing, we check WhatsApp, or we go on Insta Reels, or we go on Facebook, or we go on internet, browse some YouTube videos and whatnot, everything, all of that. So instead of doing that, do you close your eyes and be with the moment, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale. That builds a lot of positive energy in you, a lot of positivity in you. So your body physiology, physically, it has to be fit. You have to, start walking, start jogging, and all of that. So your physical fitness followed by mental fitness, followed by spiritual strength. Physical strength, mental strength, and spiritual strength. And I repeat, spiritual strength necessarily don't mean to be religious. Okay, probably depending on your belief system, you can go to a temple, mosque, or a church, whatever it is. But do you really spend that moment with yourself, or are you busy in taking a selfie while you are taking darshan, where you are lighting up that candle? Are you interested in taking those selfies, or being with the moment and then feel the presence of that place, that positive energy? That plays a crucial role. So physical strength, mental strength, and spiritual strength. These are the three prerequisites for you to be able to concentrate. Making sense? Any questions you want to ask? Aditya, Jani, Dilip, Deepa, Nivid, Joshi, any questions you want to ask? Okay, looks like no, but whenever you have any question, you can stop me there or put it in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to look at. Now, let's look at in a simple way, what are some of those practices that you could do? Of course, we talked about 3 strengths. Let's look at, what are the 5 practices, how to train your mind to concentrate. What are some of those 5 practices that you could undertake to improve your concentration level so that you could do well in your preparation, in your exam, and eventually you could do well in your, whatever endeavors you're doing. The first and foremost, my dear friends, don't criticize and don't ridicule anybody. Be supportive, be encouraging. Try to be in a positive thought. Try to be in a positive vibe. Even if you don't like somebody, don't waste your time in criticizing. Because if you start criticizing somebody, if you start, feeling jealous about somebody and start talking negative about or gossiping about somebody, even if it is a general celebrity or somebody, you talk about the girlfriends of Salman Khan, or you talk about the issues of a celebrity couple, that's all a nonsense for us, isn't it? Let's bother about ourselves. And let's not worry how many likes or shares that your friend has got for that reel that he or she has posted recently. Okay, you celebrate, you be encouraging, you supporting, you congratulate them, you show a thumbs up to them. You send a congratulatory message to your friend if they have reached a milestone with their reel also. But don't criticize, don't feel jealous. that will actually put a lot of negative sense on you, which will not be good for you. So that what will happen is your concentration will move away onto that unwarranted thing. So don't ridicule, don't criticize. Be always supportive and be encouraging. Even if you don't like something, just spend few minutes and move on. Okay, so that is one practice that you could do. Now let's look at the second practice. Respecting your work. You love what you do is more important. If you are reading a subject, if you're preparing for an exam, focus on that exam with love. यार ये मैथ्स ना, आई डोंट लाइक इट एट ऑल, वही थॉट लेके मैथ्स बुक लेके बैठ गया तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. और आज ना, though I don't like, I'm going to put my 100% effort, to prepare well. And I'm going to do well, myself than what I did in my previous exam. वो है पॉजिटिव थॉट. बट लेकिन यार मैं जितना भी प्रैक्टिस करूँ ना, ये हमेशा वैसे ही है. No, that's a negative thought. So that means you are not respecting your work. That's very important. You love that work. Show some respect towards that work. That's very crucial. Okay. And don't sit for preparation. Don't sit for exam also. You go to your exam with love, with respect. यार 3 घंटा बैठ के ना कुछ भी लिख के आ जाता हूं मैं. That's not a good idea. I will use every moment of that exam time and do my best. You respect what you're going to do. That's very important. That's a second practice that you could do, my friends. Now the third practice, on the same notes, do what you love and love what you do. On the same lines, you should respect. Okay, maths का subject है, उसको respect देना है. थोड़ा दिक्कत है, but let me develop. थोड़ा तो प्यार कर लेता हूं उसके साथ, थोड़ा तो दोस्ती बनाता हूं. So likewise, do what you love and love what you do. That's very important. So don't criticize, don't ridicule. Be supportive, be encouraging. Respect what you have to do. How will you respect? When you know what you're supposed to do, then automatically respect will come. If you don't care what you're supposed to do, then the respect don't come. And once you start respecting and knowing what you do, start loving it. And if you don't love it, love at least what you do. If you don't get to do something which you love, at least love what you do. You can't run away from that subject. You can't take away that subject from your preparation, because it is obvious that you have to give an exam. Yes or no? Okay, so that's a third practice. Now the next one is make friends with your mind. Don't agitate with your mind. Don't fight with your mind. Don't think that यार मेरा दिमाग ना काम नहीं करता है. That's not a good idea. Tell yourself that my mind it's a very beautiful tool I have that God has given to me. I'm going to put it to the best ability, best practice. वैसा सोच में रहने का. It's all in the mind. You have to make friends with your mind. Don't agitate with your mind. Be friends, make friends. That's very crucial, my friends. That's another, practice that you could do. Now let's look at what is the next practice. Slowly, steadily practice. Jada bhago mat. Don't rush with your preparation. Don't rush with your exam. Use every minute according to the plan, according to the schedule. While you're preparing for your exam, if you steadily practice slowly at a reasonably good pace, and of course, if you have not prepared throughout the year and you have left with only 2 weeks of time, and then you will obviously be rushing with your practice. And in that rush, you will skip so much of things. If you don't memorize anything that you have been doing it over the last few months or the last 1 year. So this is the fifth practice, slowly, steadily practice. So to summarize, these are the 5 practices that you could put to use. Stop criticizing, stop ridiculing, be supportive, be encouraging. Don't hate your work. Love what you do and show some respect to your work, to your schedule, to your time. And don't fight with your mind. Don't agitate with your mind. दिमाग से दोस्ती बनाओ भाई. Calm it down. Count from 1 to 5 if you're agitated. If you're restless, do some inhale, exhale, do pranayama. And take an approach of slowly, steadily practicing. Don't rush. So these are the simple 5 practices that you could follow to train your mind to concentrate while you have those 3 strengths of physical, mental, and spiritual strength. Okay. And I'm also going to give you any questions so far. Anybody? Is it making sense to all of you, my dear friends? Aditya, Jani sir, Deepa, Nivid Joshi ji. Is it making sense? Say yes or no in the chat box. At least we know that you're actively listening and none of you are turning your cameras. So at least respond on the chat box, please. Okay, what about Aditya? What about Deepa? What about Nivid? Come on, I would request. I hope it is making sense. Those three strengths and 5 practices so far. Okay, now let me give you some tips as well, and then see how you want to look at it. To achieve that concentration while you are having those prerequisite strengths and while you put those 5 practices, these are some of the most easily followable practices. And of course, there are many other things. And let me also give you some tips. It goes back to your physical strength. Physical fitness is very important. It is not only during exams, it is throughout our life. Physical fitness play a key role, my friends. It is very much required. It's a simple tip. Do whatever you could do to be physically fit. Don't have to spend 3-4 hours to be physically fit. 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Okay, there is a question that, Nivid, are you a student or a parent?
Student.
Okay, which grade are you in, Nivid? Why don't you turn on your camera?
Yes, sir. There is a problem with the network, so I didn't. And I am in 9th grade.
Okay, so what was your question?
Yes, sir. What to do when my plan does not work just before some days of exam?
Okay, so do you start your revision right from the beginning of the year or you start only before the exams?
No, not the whole year. Means in our school there are weekly tests, so we have to prepare every week, but not like specifically.
No, but revision, do you revise your portion on the same day when it is taught or you revise only when it is needed?
No, when there is a fire.
So that means that you have actually lost a wonderful opportunity by not being able to leverage. So that is not a good practice, Nivid. So, but still, you will not be able to. That's a consequence of you not being following a sequential schedule. Okay. Now, only when there is a fire, what will you end up doing? You will only look at some important topics. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because you will not have time to cover everything. So
Yeah.
already you're losing an opportunity. You have a 100% opportunity when you begin your year, but as you come closer, if you have not done it, that 100% will come down to 90, 80, 70, 60, whatever is that. So it is not a good practice. So overnight, just by watching a 30-minute video or by attending a 30-minute, webinar, don't think that you're going to change overnight to improve your concentration. Now, if you have been, I'm just giving an example, not just you in this specifically, but as an example. If you have been lazy with not any good eating habits or a good lifestyle, then it will have a negative consequence. And when the fire comes, it will put more pressure on you, which is not a good sign to be. Now, in order how to deal with it in the given time, so practice that breaks. Every 25 minutes, you take a break. Make it more productive in that less time. Don't sit throughout the day, throughout the hours, just to cover the entire portion which you have not covered during the year, and you're going to cover it only 2 or 3 weeks before the exam. you will not be able to do it anyway. Only thing is, if you break every 25 minutes or 45 minutes, you take a break of 5 minutes, and that break should be used to relax, calm down your mind so that you could rejuvenate and then put more productive practice into action. So that way, if you have come down to 60% level of topic coverage, you can raise it to 70% or 75%. But if you are expecting it to cover all the 100% portion, which you have not woken up, throughout the year and just trying to do only 2 weeks before, it is a kind of a gigantic task, Nivedita. But yet, instead of remaining at a 60-70%, make it to 90%, if not 100%. So the best approach is timing it. In less amount of time, you become more productive. How you can do it? One tip, simple tip is, don't sit through your portion or revision throughout the day or throughout the night. Break it and mix your subjects. 2 hours you put on one subject with 2 or 3 breaks, and don't use those breaks to go back and go on your gadget and then watch those whatever that non-productive things again. Of course you can do that, but do that as a separate time altogether, not between the breaks. What will happen is, the next 25 minutes or 45 minutes that you are expected to focus, your mind is still on that Insta reel or a Facebook share. You understanding, Navid? So these are the simple things. In the less amount of time, you be more productive. And that doesn't happen overnight again. You will have to slowly practice it and give appropriate breaks. That's 1 or 2 tips that we could call out. So going back, physical fitness, you have to be physically fit, going back to the physical strength. Next, the second tip is observing your mind. You have to be mindful, observe your mind, focus on your thought, focus on inwardness. Don't focus on the external things. Focus on your internal, focus on your mind. Close your mind and see what thought is revolving around in your mind and calm it down. Hold it back. Not that you're going to stop thinking. It's highly, very difficult for you to look at that way. Calm it down. Observe it. Is it wandering here, there? Bring it back. Our mind is like a monkey. It keeps wandering effortlessly. You don't have to train it to wander. You have to train it to concentrate. That's the whole issue. So you have to observe your mind. That's very important. And the next one is, you may be thinking multitasking is going to give you more productivity. That's a myth, my friend. One work at a time. Give your 100% attention to that one work, one subject, one topic, one chapter at the 25-minute or a 40-45-minute time. Don't try to go around and boil the entire ocean, everything at one time. That's not going to work. Okay. And the next tip is your body posture. Don't lie down on a bed or a couch and put your book like this and try to read it. If you can sit in Vajrasan, nothing like it. But I don't know how many of you can really practice it. At least sit in a right posture, sit in a comfortable chair where your back erect, and there is a proper distance that you maintain between your eye and your book when you're doing that. So that way it improves the productivity when you are preparing. So your body posture is important. And the next one, schedule your time. You have to manage your time. Put a timetable. That's very important. Don't think that I'm going to do this and everything. No, unless you put a time and follow it, it's not going to work out. And the next one, make sure that you are sitting in a distraction-free environment. Preferably don't sit in your drawing room. Sit in a separate room. Sit in a separate corner at your home, where at least the phone buzzing or the TV sound or maybe some smell you're getting from the kitchen, your mom is cooking something, those don't distract. Your thought will go away on that. So be in a distraction-free environment. The posture and the place where you choose to sit and study is very important. I'm sure if you are in 9, 10, 11, 12 grades, By now you would have figured that out at your home. मैं ना यहाँ पे बहुत comfortable हूँ, यहाँ पे ना कम distraction आता है मेरे को. I'm sure you would all have exercised. So that is another tip that you could do. And loneliness. This does not mean that you're going to isolate everybody. You're going to truly spend time. Some kids are naturally capable of, even if they're sitting in between 100 people, they are focusing internally. They don't bother about the other noises that are happening or the distractions that are happening that are around. That comes naturally to them. But for some, they have to have that environment. So practice that loneliness so that you are truly focusing you and your book, your exam preparation, and your portion and your subject. Nothing else comes in between. That's what I mean, loneliness, or kind of not isolating from people. You don't have to go into a tunnel underground completely during exams. That's not the point. Okay. The next tip is observing your breath. From time to time, just observe your breath. Just see how much you are inhaling and how much you are exhaling. Take a deep breath and exhale. Keep your focus, close your eyes, and slowly you focus on that. That will actually improve your concentration. Okay. And the next one, like I said, take breaks. This works differently for different people, but general practices are two most common practices. Some can work out with a 25 a break after every 25 minutes for 5 minutes, or a break of 5 minutes after every 45 minutes. See what fits for you. And that 5-minute break should not be stretched to a 25-minute break. Then gone. You're taking your, this thing for a toss. Okay. That's very important. And next, revise. Though you have understood, completed that portion, quick glancing, quick revision of the headlines, of the notes that you prepare, of the headings or subheadings that you come across. Or you could revise, I'll put it in a little jovial way. If you woke up in the morning, but you prepared a very good amount of time yesterday, yesterday evening, and you slept off well, and you woke up and you're doing your daily chores. You go to bathroom, you go to brush up, and then नहा ले, ये सब कर रहे हैं ना. उस समय थोड़ा सोच उसके ऊपर लगाओ. Mentally revise karo. You don't have to keep your book in front of you to revise. What you have read last night, keep that in your thoughts as you wake up. And of course, you could do by keeping your book in front of you and do a revision. That's also right. The revision is very key. And last but not the least, be associated with people who are actually preparing along with you. You could have a best buddy who is also doing preparation. That is again your choice. If you want to work alone, you work alone. If you prefer to work with your best buddy in that preparation, do that. Associate with your teachers, associate with your parents, have those doubts, these things clarified. So that will actually draw your attention too much onto that subject, onto that preparation. So those are the 11 tips, my friends. Your physical fitness, observing your mind, one time, one work at a time, your body posture, your scheduling your time management, distraction-free environment, exercising that loneliness, spending time with yourself, observing your breath, taking appropriate timely breaks and doing timely revision, and being associated with the like-minded people. You're preparing for your exam for physics and you're talking to a senior who's preparing for a different exam altogether, and your conversation goes in a different way. No, you get your best buddy and discuss on the same subject. It could be on phone, or it could be in person, or it could be right next door, whichever is possible. So these are some of the 11 tips that you could exercise, my dear friends. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? So three strengths are your physical strength, your mental strength, and spiritual strength. And 5 practices are Don't criticize, don't ridicule. Be supportive, be encouraging, and respect your work. Do what you love or love what you do. Make friends with your mind. Slowly, steadily practice. These are the 5 practices, and the 11 tips are like physical fitness, observing your mind, one work at a time, body posture, scheduling your time, distraction free environment, exercising that loneliness, observing your breath, taking breaks at appropriate intervals, and doing revision timely, and being associated with the like minded preparation. So, those are the three aspects, 3 strengths, 5 practices, and 11 tips, my dear friends. I hope that was useful, and I'll open it up for questions, and then we get going from there. Any questions, sir?